ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you to all the devotees for giving me an opportunity to be present teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam here. Today I'm going to present teachings of Lord Kapila from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 30th chapter. Before we do that, we will recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times, and we will pay respects to Vyasadeva and Parampara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Naishtaki. Randraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we are going to learn something from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 30th chapter, where there is a dialogue between two divine personalities, Kapila Dev or Kapila Muni, and his mother Devahuti. Actually, our Vedic literature is all about dialogue. There is there is no monologue. Nobody talks one way. Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna asking questions back to Lord Krishna. Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, sages in Naimisharanya and Shaunak Rishi, Maitreya Rishi and Vidurji, Kapila Muni and Devahuti, and there are so many wonderful dialogues in Vedic literature. So our presentation also will be a dialogue. So I'm not going to just talk, but I will request everybody, if you can open up your cameras, be participatory, because it's going to be mutually beneficial for all of us. If it is a monologue, only person who presents gets benefit. So if you really want a blessing of Srimad Bhagavatam, then let's be interactive in all our presentations, all our discussions. This is a divine dialogue. Srimad Bhagavatam is all about dialogues between two divine personalities. So we are going to learn from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 30th chapter. Kapila Muni is incarnation of Lord Shri Krishna and son of Devahuti and great sage Kardama Muni. And this whole pastime of marriage of Devahuti and Kardama Muni, followed by Kapil Dev's instruction to Devahuti, is recited by Maitreya Rishi to Vidurji in 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. After departure, after Kapila Muni retires and goes to the forest, at that time by the Bindu Sarovar, Bindu Sarovar is actually in Gujarat. If anybody has been to Gujarat, to Bindu Sarovar, then you can visit that place. There is a beautiful temple there where you can actually see the place where uh, Kapila Muni instructed uh, this Bhakti Yoga science to his mother Devahuti. And actually, in India, many people go to this place Bindu Sarovar where the instructions happened for the Shraddha ceremony of their mother. Actually, maternal Shraddha is performed at Bindu Sarovar there is a place in Gujarat which is called Siddhapur. And if you go there, you will take the darshan of this Bindu Sarovar. Anybody has been to Gujarat to Bindu Sarovar? It's a holy place.
Yes, Prabhuji, I will.
Radha Gopinath Prabhu, thank you. Anybody else? The holy places are not different than
I have been
Krishna.
to. I mean, I have my aunt staying in Siddhapur. I'm from Gujarat, too, but
Ah,
unfortunately, I haven't been to that place. I've been to Siddhapur, but
ah,
this was like long time back. And my mother's sister stays there still in Siddhapur, and I
wonderful.
keep visiting. But I think at this time, I'm making it a point whenever I go to Gujarat,
Yeah, if you
I'll
go
be
there,
there.
it's a beautiful place. You must visit there.
You're from
So
Gujarat
that's
also,
the
right,
place.
Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm from Gujarat. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes. So that is where the divine dialogue happened, and we can for maternal Shraddha ceremony, lots of people go there. So anyway, so that's where the conversation is happening on the bank of Bindu Sarovar, and this Bindu Sarovar is the place where Swayambhuva Manu he met Kardama Muni, and that is where he proposed his daughter's marriage with daughter Devhuti's marriage with the Kardama Muni, and that is where the marriage ceremony actually happened. So that's a very auspicious place. So in the throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, there are a lot of teachings, but this chapter I choose because this is the way we live our life. Probably not devotees, but I mean materialistic life. Sometimes devotees also go into this mood when we we are too much busy with our materialistic life. So we will learn some teachings of Kapila Muni, how our life changes. And very strong words are used for the materialistic life. So we'll take one shloka here from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are going to take many shlokas. We're starting with first shloka here. Kapila Muni is instructing to his mother Devahuti. Kapila Muni says, Kapila Vacha Tasye Jano Nunam Nayam Vedoru Vikramam Kalyamano Api Balino Vayoriva Ghanavali. So Kapila Muni is saying that as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried. So here, uh, Kapila Muni is using analogy. Analogies are very important in spiritual life to understand, because we do not have a spiritual vision, we have a material vision. So to understand spirituality, sometimes Srila Prabhupada also many used analogies like uh, Prabhupada ji gave example of material things which we can use for service of Krishna, like tape recorders. Prabhupada ji many times used in his lectures that we are using these tape recorders. They are spiritual because we're using for service of Krishna. That's Yukta Vairagya while explaining. So similarly here, to explain the materialistic life, Kapila Muni is using analogy of clouds and and the wind. There are two analogies here. So what is the thing we understand here? The clouds are very powerful. Clouds are very big actually, and they are, even though they are so powerful and big, they carry a lot of rain and so many things. But in front of wind, the clouds are powerless. So Kapila Muni explains that clouds are not aware the power of the wind. The wind can move those heavy clouds in any direction wherever they want. Similarly, the human beings may be very powerful, may be very big, very giant, but they are powerless against the factor of time. So Kapila Muni says that people are so ignorant that they are trapped in the material consciousness, and they think that they're they have all the things what they need, but the power of wind, power of time is um, so strong that it can move them. The time can move anybody in a fraction of a second, And then Kapila Muni uses time as a very powerful force. It's an unseen force, and it governs the progression and eventual destruction of all the material things. Like as the clouds are dispersed by the wind, the time can disperse all the material possessions. It can destroy all the material possessions. Anybody can share any power of time information from Bhagavad Gita? We have lots of information about the time, how powerful is the time. And Krishna, which is that shloka where Krishna says about the time? Can somebody be part of it? Power of time and Krishna.
Kalosmi.
Yes, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi, I am the time. And Chanakya Pandit has a quote, right? It says time is so powerful that if you give $1 million to somebody, then the time will not come back, So one can accumulate as much amount of wealth as possible, but whatever the time once lost, you cannot get it back. So even after giving all the money. So time management is a very crucial factor for devotees even, what time we are spending in spiritual activities, material activities, and then most of the time we have to worry about, when we say chanting, sometimes we do not find the time, but if we have time for all other things. So we have to make priorities for chanting as one of the important priorities, because once that time is lost, I don't think the time will come back for us to do the chanting. And unfortunately, people are not. We worry about Krishna consciousness and so many things, but we don't worry about the time itself. And we will not get the time back. So we have to be very, very careful how we use our time in spiritual and material things as well. Everything has a time. Krishna is time. So we have to awaken to the reality that ignorance about time is a very powerful thing. And if we miss the time, it will never come back. This opportunity, we have a human form of life, we have got a guru, we got a shastra, we have got sadhu, we have got a wonderful organization, ISKCON. I don't think this rare permutation and combination will come back again. So we have to awaken to the reality. And at the same time, we have to detach from the material things, because we have to understand that actually the truth is that we have to give up everything. So Kapila Muni is telling to Mata Devahuti that people are so much materially engrossed that they don't think that this time is going to take away every material things from them. Why are we accumulating so many material things and becoming big materially, like the clouds become big? But then the wind can disperse away them very quickly. The time can destroy everything. So instead of accumulating material possessions, can we accumulate spiritual possessions? And what are the spiritual possessions? The ultimate spiritual possession is Harinama. More we chant sincerely, faithfully, giving our all heart and soul, I think that is the only asset we can carry with us. Everything else will remain here. So many devotees we have seen in the past, they have lived lives exemplarily. We have my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, so empowering personality. We can learn from them that how much attachment they had for spiritual service rather than material attachment. So we get inspired by that. And this is the only opportunity for us this is the only life probably in my billions and billions of life probably, that I got a guru, I got a shastra, I got everything what I need to realize the truth. So now is the time to use everything for Krishna's service. Then in the next shloka, Kapila Muni says, Yam yam artham upadatte dukhena sukhetave tam tam dhunoti bhagavan puman chokati yat krute. Kardamuni says, whatever is produced by materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality as the time factor destroys. For this reason the conditioned soul laments. Yam yam tam tam. Any shloka of Bhagavad Gita where yam 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 tam tam Lord Krishna uses to explain the same concept? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam yajante kalevaram. Lord Krishna also uses this yam yam. Whatever, whenever. So whatever is produced by materialistic, people work very hard day and night, right? People are working so hard for material possessions that in big cities like Toronto, people are on the highways forever, and they are driving and everybody's working hard. Our Guru Maharaj, one of the lectures, he was saying that people are taking so much anxiety for the material things, like they get up early in the morning in Mumbai and they go into various trains, and same in Toronto and big cities, people are always driving. They're working so hard to accumulate material possessions. And similarly, our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, used to travel extensively all over the world, like Russia, America, Canada, India. He was also working hard. He was also taking hardship. Now, what is the difference in the hardship? So Guru Maharaj was working hard for Krishna, and all other people are also working hard. We all work hard, right? We all go to the job and spend so much time for the family, and so many things. And our Guru Maharaj also did the same thing, but for Krishna. So working hard is compulsory. Now it's a choice where you want to work. You want to work for Krishna or you want to work for temporary things. Striving for material possessions is a tendency commonly found, but this is sort of an illusion, a sense of happiness which you derive from the material possessions is very temporary. And ignorance is that people are often unaware that the time they are using for accumulating material possessions, but everything is going to disappear very quickly. And people are engaged in economic development now. India also, like our Bharatvarsha, everybody is worrying about economic development. I don't think the economic development is the answer for everything. Yes, money is required, Lakshmi is required, but along with that, sometimes, in our temple management also, we worry so much about money rather than spiritual development. And that is where I think we have to change our perspective in our outreach programs also. Like sometimes everything becomes economic part rather than spiritual part. So we have to learn from this, from that striving for material possessions is required, but not to the greatest extent. Further, Kardama Muni says, Yad adhruvasya dehasya sanubandasya dharmati dhruvani manyate mohat gruha kshetra vasunivacha. The misguided materialist does not know this very body is impermanent, and that attraction of home, land, wealth, which are in relationship to that body, are also temporary. Even among the devotees, I have seen this, that we all are attached actually. Do you all agree with that? Or have you all come to the realization that this is what it is and we have to get detached from this? How far are we attached on the scale of 1 to 10? Maybe one representative say, how far are we attached to the bodily concepts? Being in Krishna consciousness for so many years. If
very much attached, Prabhuji.
We are actually, right? Anybody else wants to say something about this? Attachment, even after being in Krishna consciousness, after chanting so many years, being associated with devotees, what is that which is missing here? Why we are so much attached?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, I totally agree. We are attached. We are not able to give because we have two kinds of responsibilities, material responsibilities and the spiritual responsibilities. Yeah. But we can still see the difference in that attachment. We rather pray now for our own people that can they get bhakti? Can they please start with bhakti? And if there is something that happens, like Mataji's previous presentation, if our plan doesn't work, we kind of tend to accept it a little better than what we was previously. So there is a difference, Prabhuji.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I see two raised hand, Radhana Gopinath Prabhu. Maybe we can be a little quicker. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Yeah, so we are not surrender complete to Krishna, right? So we don't trust his words, right? So that's why we are attached to material thing, because that's a
Absolutely correct. Ram Vilas Prabhu, one more.
Thank you. Just last Sunday, I was speaking with your god brother, Mother Krishna Prabhu, on the same point. It's coincidental that we were doing services and we were talking about how the body, the physical body is crap, but still we are so attached, and all devotees who were speaking were mentioning correct points as to what we were discussing, that we are not surrendered and we are just attached. Like the ignorance just doesn't go. We have also discussed this in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, that how our entire body is made out of ignorance. It just takes so much endeavor to get out of that.
Absolutely. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada ji is saying. And then again, Kapil Muni is saying, out of ignorance only, we think that everything is permanent. And that ignorance is the root cause. And Srila Prabhupada ji explained this very nicely, and everybody put it in right word. Srila Prabhupada ji says here that illusion, we are all under an illusion that we are this body, you know. And we are not materialists. We are on the path of, we are all spiritual seekers. We are on the path. We are on the journey. We haven't reached the destination. But sometimes the illusion is so powerful that everything starts appearing real, actually. Yeah? We sometimes movie, everything appears real. And as soon as the movie is over, we realize it's temporary. Similarly, we also undergo spell of Maya and failing to recognize the eternal nature of the spirit soul. So hence, constant chanting is the very important part of this whole process. If we really want to overcome this illusion, like chanting Mahamantra, I think my realization is, I was reading through this book, Sri Namamrita, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the elevator which takes you directly to the Krishna Prema. So constant chanting gives us a reminder that, whatever I'm seeing here is real, but it's temporary, and I don't want to get too much attached with it, you know. So constant remembrance of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, I think, a very important part of the whole process. More we develop faith in Mahamantra, I think our life will be sublime, our Krishna consciousness will be perfect. But if the Mahamantra chanting is a forceful phenomenon for us, 16 rounds is a forceful phenomenon, then I think we are making some lack in the progress. You know, we have to sit at one place and chant that 16 round without moving from that place. That is the tapasya. If we can do that, I think our detachment will eventually go away. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava maha davagni nirvapanam. So this illusion, this material attachments are because we are not attached to the chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if we sincerely endeavor every day, making sure when I'm chanting, I make sure in my sadhana that I'm also growing, but from the instruction of my Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj said that if you really chant, then I'm always there with you. But if you don't chant sincerely, then there's a disconnect between you and Guru Maharaj. Similarly, if we are sincerely chanting, then we are connected to Krishna. Otherwise, there is no point of doing Krishna consciousness. We might be preaching, we might be doing everything else, but if our chanting is the main thing, if we are not chanting sincerely, sitting at one place with all our heart and soul, making sure every sound vibration we hear, then I think our whole Krishna consciousness process will be just a demonstration, nothing else. So that chanting, the faith in Hare Krishna mantra has to grow so immensely that 2 hours of our life every day, minimum 2 hours, which is 16 rounds, nobody comes in our way, right? then only this illusion will go away. Otherwise, this is not possible. Further, Kapila Muni says that Janturvai bhava etasmin yam yam yonim anuvrajet tashyam salabate nivrittim va virajyate. So living entity in whatever the species of life he or she appears finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species and is never averse to being situated in such a condition. So we all get comfortable, in whatever the positions we are, we get so cozy, comfortable. Whatever the body we get, we become all comfort, somebody has an animal body, the animals are comfortable. Somebody has a human body, humans are comfortable. Somebody has a dog body, dogs are comfortable. Nobody wants to give up their position. It's like somebody who's living the 1-bedroom apartment. He says, okay, I don't want to go to 3-bedroom apartment. Now I'm good here. So there is no chance of progress, So Kapila Muni says that everybody gets so much attached to the body that they become averse to this, comfortable. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains that when a sadhu or a human being, for example, human being sees a hog staying in the filthy place, what dirty life that hog is living. But then hog is very comfortable. Similarly, when our acharyas, when our Guru Maharaj sees the materialistic people like myself, they become very compassionate. My Guru Maharaj always gave personal attention to each and every person who came actually to him. Very, very surprising that so many devotees came to see Maharaj, and he felt always compassion that no, I must give personal attention to this person. And he tried to lift. So sadhus, when they see us materially suffering, they say, oh, this is not a good life. We must give them a spiritual life. And that is but then hog is comfortable. But we think, oh, that hog is living bad life. So compassion is very important. But Maya's influence, Maya is our material consciousness actually. Maya is nothing external, it is internal. More we have this realization that I am this, even still we are attached with the titles and degrees. That is some sort of ignorance. And that will lead us to the abominable condition of life. So we have to realize that the illusionary phenomenon continuously chant and seek spiritual association and strive for the higher consciousness, strive for Krishna consciousness. And one of the way we can elevate our consciousness is by studying the life of Vaishnava Acharyas. Like, every day if we can read or hear about one Vaishnava Acharyas, I think our consciousness will elevate, like, following the footsteps. Yad yad acharati shrestha. So the best way is to learn from somebody who has walked the path rather than creating our own path. It will take long time and our life is very short. So we have to realize that our path has already been shown by somebody else. Further, Kapila Muni says, Narakastho api deham vai na pumam styaktum ichchati narkyam nivruti satyam deva maya vimohita. The conditioned living entity is satisfied in his particular species of life. Sometimes we also become so comfortable and cozy in our situation that somebody says, can you do this? Oh, we find so many excuses in our spiritual life also. Like, people become comfortable in chanting in a walking chanting. They are walking and doing their 16 rounds. Now they become comfortable and they don't want to give up that. That's choice, but are we able to focus? Because when we are walking, we are seeing so many things around us. Our mind is distracted. Are we really focusing on the Hare Krishna or are we focusing on something? But we become comfortable with that, We don't want to give up that. And then we find the excuse. So conditioned living entity is satisfied in that particular species. While deluded by covering influence of the illusionary energy, he feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example here of Indra. When Indra was once cursed by his spiritual master Brihaspati, Anybody knows this pastime? No? Okay. So Indra committed offense, and his spiritual master Brihaspati caused him to take a life of a hog. And he was in the body of a hog, Indra. And then after many days, when Lord Brahma saw the abominable life of Indra, then Lord Brahma said, "Do you want to come back? And I will give you the heavenly life." Indra says, "No, no, no." He was comfortable, and he refused to go back actually. Our Guru Maharaj so many times told us that chant sincerely 16 rounds and read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, life will be sublime. But we somehow or other so much conditioned, we do not want to chant 16 rounds sincerely. We think that it is okay. And that is the abominable condition of our life. Even in spite of being, like we are talking about materialist people, but even when I look into myself, like so much attachments, and that is the hoggish life probably. And more we chant, more things will go away. Further, Kapila Muni says that Atma Jaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Nirudha Mularadaya Atmanam Bahumanyate. Such satisfaction with one's standard of living is due to deep-rooted attachment for the body, wife, home, children, animal, wealth, and friends. Kapila Muni here is saying that Atma Jaya Suta Agara. Atma means body, Jaya, which is wife, Suta, children, Agara, home, Pashu, animals, Dravina, money, Bandhushu, friends. And this is so much Mula Radaya. Mula means deeply rooted in our heart. Our heart is completely engrossed. I don't know about anybody else, but I do have all these attachments, wife, children, family, this and that. And sometimes we cover it with so-called Yukta Vairagya. Sometimes we say, oh, we have a vision, but how can we overcome this? After age of 50, actually, Srila Prabhupada further in the shloka says that after age of 50, literally we should give up all the attachments. Because more we are attached to this family concept, then at the time of death, if we die among the families which are like, it may not give us the opportunity. It's better to give up that place immediately. And that is what Kardama Muni also gave up the family and went to the forest. We should aim for the Varnashrama, and that is, I think, the ultimate purpose of Varnashrama is that after age of 50, Vanaprastha, and then certain age, one has to renounce. I think we are becoming comfortable more and more under the concept of this Yukta Vairagya family situation. But I think we have to take up at certain stage of life, we have to give up all the things. And that will come only with sincere chanting, otherwise not possible. And in such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect. So much attachment that we think everything is going nice. Oh, this Krishna consciousness is going nice with the family. But then what time we are going to give up everything? We have to give up everything. Srila Prabhupada ji says that this is a false contentment, sense of a material satisfaction. Until and unless we go to the discomforts, going out of the home, living a sannyasi life, I don't think that real Krishna consciousness will come back. Srila Prabhupada gave up his life. Not everybody can do it, but I think some of us have to take a responsibility and follow the footsteps of previous acharyas. One cannot get to the highest perfectional stage unless and until one gives up everything. Otherwise, so long as we are with this material attachment, there is a chance of gliding down into the material life. So-called association of family. Prabhupada explains that so much people are patriotic, people are attached to the country, people are attached to the society, family. This is a sort of a false contentment. Further, Kardama Muni says that Sandhyahamana sarvanga esham uddahanadina karoti aviratam mudho duritani durashaya. Although one is always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with the hope which is never to be fulfilled to maintain his so-called family and society. Mischievous activities, which means that people sometimes they do all the sinful activities for udvahana, maintaining the family, but then for that there is anxiety also. And Prabhupada ji explains that there is anxiety everywhere. In Krishna consciousness also there is anxiety. There is family everywhere. In Krishna consciousness also family. Now in Krishna Loka there is a family, there are friends, there is society, there is a mother and the father. But only thing difference is that the family we maintain in the material world is created by Maya. Srila Prabhupada explains. And in Krishna Loka, that is real family. And so what we have, this family, is a perverted reflection of what we have in Krishna Loka. Urdhva Mula Madhoshaka from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. This whole material world is everything what we see, wife, mother, father, children. These are all reflection of what is there in Krishna Loka. But in Krishna Loka, family and friends are there, but they are eternal. But somehow or other, the materialistic people, they do not know that this everything is here is a shadow, and thus they become attached. And one is under full anxiety because of accepting this family as a real thing. That's the false. That's the representation of illusion actually. And I had a family in previous life. I have family now. I would have family future. I had a wife in past life, now and future. It's going to be there. But when we go to Krishna Loka, then there is eternal family. Krishna is our eternal father. There's eternal mother there. So everybody is there. But somehow or other, we are illusioned. Gruheshu kuta dharmeshu dukkha tantreva antaridhraya kurvan dukkha pratikaram sukhavan manyate grihi. The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy and politics, always spreading miseries and controlled by the acts of sense gratification. He acts just to counteract the reactions of all his miseries. And if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks he is happy. So, Gruheshu kuta dharmeshu. Gruheshu kuta dharmeshu, which means that in the family life, Gruheshu kuta dharmeshu, trying to maintain the family by taking all the miseries. And sometimes he overcomes those problems and then he thinks, oh, this is very nice, now it's all good, But that is all illusion actually. And Prabhupada says that all our attempts to become happy in this material world is simply a delusion which is offered by Maya. No amount of material illusion can make us happy. We have to understand this and progress more and more towards the Krishna consciousness. Atherapaditer gurvya himsayetastat tan pushnati yesham poshena sesha bhugayati adha swayam. He secures money by committing violence here and there, and although he employs in his service of his family, he himself eats only a little portion of the food thus purchased, and he goes to the hell for those whom he earned the money in such a irregular way. So materialistic persons are so much attached to the monetary gains, economic development, that they day and night they work hard, and sometimes they commit all sorts of sinful activities. But after doing that, they are going to eat little bit of food only, not much. And Srila Prabhupada explains that a man who eats 8 ounces of foodstuff may have to maintain a big family and earn money by any means to support that family. So there was a very nice story. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj tells about a sadhu who was doing a meditation, and he had only possession of 2 sets of underwear. And one day, a mouse comes and eats one of the underwear. So now this sadhu is thinking, oh, this mouse is eating my underwear, so I must have a cat to stop that mouse. And then when he has a cat, then he thinks, now I have to feed the cat with the milk because the cat is always hungry. So now he has to have a cow. And then he gets the cow, then somebody has to look after the cow and milk the cow. Then he gets married and he has a wife. Now the wife he has to maintain now, and then wife says, okay, I need a children. So now he has a child, and then when the child is crying all the time, and he wants toys and this and that. So now this sadhu is frustrated. He said, I was doing nice meditation, and just to save one piece of underwear, I created so much things, Similarly, for purpose of life is to chant Krishna's name, but then we are accumulating so many things so much, that sometimes we have these things under the name of Yukta Vairagya. We have so many things which we really don't need it actually. So materialistic people, or this tendency is to accumulate so many things, but actually we don't need that much actually. Sometimes materialistic person, he eats remnants that are left after the family members are fed, and that is called covering of Maya and illusion. Everything appears real. Everybody is serving actually. Family, the leaders are serving the country, and they are working so hard, and they think that everything is going to be good, but Maya is going to take ultimate freedom is surrendering to Krishna. Otherwise, it's not going to come. Prabhu, you let me know when the time is up.
You have spoken for about 39 minutes, Prabhu. Another 6 minutes overall.
Okay, we have some more shlokas. I'll keep on going then. Evam swabharana kalpam tata kalatradayas nadriyante yatha purvam kinasa iva gojaram. Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before. Even as the miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn out oxen. Very, very wonderful realization here. We can see this happening everywhere. That when people become old, they don't have any bodily strength, then the family members are also hesitant to look after them, and they don't treat him with the respect. Like the analogy here given by Kapila Muni is that when the ox, they help in the farming actually, but when they become old, they are useless. Nobody looks after them. Similarly, when we become old, family members are least bothered because now we are useless. Srila Prabhupada says that it is judicious, therefore, to give up the family attachment before one attains the old age and take the shelter of Supreme Personality. It's very, very important that we give up this family thing sooner than later, because rather than they giving up, we give them up immediately as soon as possible and fully surrender to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that one should employ himself in the Lord's service so that the Supreme Lord can take charge of him, and he will not be neglected by his so-called kinsmen. And Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, it is mentioned in the Vedic scripture that after age of 50, one must slowly detach as soon as possible and prepare for the ultimate sannyasa. Because that is eventually required for many of us to walk on the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas. So one day we have to come to that destiny. Then only we will be able to spread. Otherwise, we will be here forever under so many robes. Aste ava matya panyashtam granapala ivaharam Atmayavi apraptagnir alpaharo alpachetisa Thus he remains in the home just like a pet dog and eats whatever is so negligently given to him. Afflicted with many illness such as dyspepsia and loss of appetite, he eats only very small morsel of food and he becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore. So when we become old, then our digestion system slows down. We are not even able to eat one or two rotis. And why are we even staying there? So Prabhupada says that in that disease condition, one's eyes bulge, and when the disease progresses, then we are going to go to the deteriorating condition, and everything is congested with mucus and difficulty in breathing, and in that condition one gives up the life, so depending on the family members. In this way he comes under the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives, and although he wants to speak to them, he no longer can, because he is under the control of time. The time is powerful, time is controlling everything, and time has taken away all his energy now. The opportunity which one had to spend for Krishna's service, spend all the life, even after age of 50, for family and friends and society and country, and nothing for Krishna. I think that's the ultimate destiny of the person who is under the materialistic touches. Thus, the man who engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in a great grief, seeing his family and relatives crying. He dies most pathetically in a great pain and without consciousness. Prabhupada says, in Bhagavad Gita it is said that at the time of death, one will be absorbed in the thoughts which he cultivates during the life. Yam yam vapi smarana bhavam tyajante kalevaram. A person who had no other idea than to properly maintain his family members must have family affairs in his last thoughts. That is the natural sequence for the common man. The common man does not know the destiny of his life. He is busy in his flash of life maintaining his family. So if we die among the family, we come back with the family. If we die with the devotees, we come back among the devotees. If we die with Krishna consciousness, antakale cha mahamayeva smarana ukta kalevaram. So Krishna says, if you remember me, if you are with me at the time, then the death is examination, life is preparation, and that is the preparation is sincere chanting with all our heart and soul. I think that is what is our preparation is. Otherwise, we'll be attached and we will be going through the repeated cycle of birth and death. So with that, I will pause here. I think my time is up. Is that right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, your time is up.
Okay, should I stop recording now?
No, if any questions are there, you can just...
okay, so I'll stop sharing now then. And we are open for the forum for the discussion. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So if anybody has any questions for Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Subala Prabhu has question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just like to say something about it. You said continuous 2 hours sitting in the same place and chant. Actually, I never did it. Because it's sometimes, if you sit 2 hours, even we are living with Maya, so even your body part gonna complain to you, and also you have a natural call and all those things. So how are you gonna do that? Just give me some answer, please. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Like as the age progresses, I think we all have certain limitations with the body. Like with my body, I'm 53 now, and I've been doing this practice of chanting at one place without moving, just focusing on my chanting in a quiet place. and it really helps us. In the beginning stage, yes, our body will be uncomfortable, but then slowly and steadily, I think the body adapts to this position, the mind adapts to that situation, and believe me or not, your enjoyment of chanting will go up and up if you do this at least for uh, 1 week or so. You'll realize that what we might be thinking is not possible will happen actually. And my experience is very positive. If somebody comes and tells me something, I say, don't disturb me while I'm doing this, because this is very important for me. Nothing else is as important as my chanting. So all the phone calls are shut off. I make sure that many times I miss, like sometimes my mind runs away. I make sure I do one extra round, making sure I complete all the time. So sometimes while we are chanting, also we are chanting very fast and we might miss some things. So I've carefully observed that if I sincerely chant, it takes around 7 minutes to 7.5 minutes for one round, and total finishing 16 rounds take 2 hours 10 minutes or so. If I finish earlier, I realize, oh, I might have missed something or I might have not done properly. So I make sure I go back. But then your realization, sincerity will go up and up and up every time. But sitting at one place, it's like a meditation, it's like a tapasya. We have to do tapasya. Austerity is very important. Yagna dana tapa na tyajyam, Krishna says. Even it is not possible, it will become possible. Krishna will make everything possible. If you have a will, Krishna will show the way.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, thanks for a nice class. If I may ask this question, Prabhu, we all know that you are a practicing doctor also. In as an extension of what Mataji presented earlier as well, uh, you are being a doctor where you face such situations day in and day out, where you face people who are going through challenges. At the same time, you're also, you are aware of the spiritual reasons, what the Lord says as to why somebody goes through some challenges or some agonies or some illnesses and stuff. So when you're sitting in front of a patient, how do you balance these two? Of course, you will be doing your duty as a doctor without fail, but how do you reconcile to this, that somebody is going through this because of his own karma or his past doings and stuff? So how do you reconcile on a day-to-day basis when you face such situations?
Yeah, when I'm with the patient, actually, I am very professional. Actually, I think about whatever the things I need to do for that particular thing. Uh, yeah, sometimes we see the sufferings, and as a as a spiritual consciousness at that time, I just pray for them. Like actually, before seeing and after seeing every patient, I chant Hare Krishna mantra, just as some sort of a blessing to that person, and I just pray for them sometimes. When I see they're really suffering, because sometimes we can't help them out. Anything else, like medically, I try to help as much as I can, give my all professional advice. But other than that, I don't try to judge them. I don't try to see the deeper meaning behind them, because I just say, okay, Krishna, please do whatever you can here. Because sufferings are everywhere. So many patients I see with brain cancers and all those very, very bad cancers. Little children with deadly diagnosis. So uh, we just can't fathom the depth of it. So much sufferings. Just praying is the ultimate solution. So I chant before and after seeing every patient. I chant for them few mantras and pray to Krishna. That is my practice actually. Every day before seeing every patient, I see every day 60 patients, and every time I will say few mantras before and after. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else has any questions for Prabhuji? Thank you very much, Selvi. So we will now go into the rating scale. I'll just, the link remains the same. I'll just paste it again. I would request everybody to please click on the link and put in your thoughts and any feedback. After that, we will just come back for the feedback session in about 4 minutes from now, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna, all devotees. So we will now move into the feedback session. Anybody who would like to share any thoughts about the presentation or any feedbacks with Prabhu, you can kindly raise your hand and go ahead, please. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Sucharu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, a wonderful presentation. And it is like there is no any rush in the way you're trying to put too many things and all. But it went so calm that you had a complete overview of the subject. And it overall, it was very excellent, and I really like it. I know you personally, like you give classes in the Thunder Bay Center. I really liked it, Prabhuji, the way you presented it. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, Glory to Prabhupada. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to share, please?
Well, I can share, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Umesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prem Kishore Prabhu. I think wonderful class. As Sujari Padmavataji mentioned that there was no rush. It was, and I think the way you took through the verses and bring home the point about futility of material endeavors and the conviction which you were sharing about chanting in a much focused manner. That was very, I would say, very inspiring. I just had a question, Prabhu, if I can ask you now. I couldn't ask you earlier.
Yes,
Often it is said that chanting is, I mean, it's like if you go to gym, unless you feel a strain, it would not help you. I'm not mixing the concept of focused chanting versus doing it frivolously, but the question here was, Prabhu, that sometime when you if you're in a zone and if you're just peacefully chanting, then the mind is not getting trained or is not going through that challenge. So as a practical, for me, of course, I struggle. I'll be very honest, though I try to chant at one place as much as I can, and I do manage to do it quite a few occasions. But Prabhu, how do you see this, that we will have this constant struggle and we have to keep going through that? So what you're saying is to address that concern, but my question was that we'll always have this constant crush, and when you talk to some of the senior devotees, when we tell them we have struggle with chanting, they say it's good. As long as you're having struggle, you're training your mind in a way. So I hope I'm coming through here that how do we, the question here is now this, that we often see struggle and it is appreciated in a way that we are struggling, and that's good, sign of we making progress. On the other hand, we're also making a point that we should be in a certain level and we should maintain that standard. So how do we sort of reconcile this two?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. You know, as Kapil Muni says in the shloka, we become comfortable. You know, sometimes we are doing distracted chanting and we become comfortable with that. But I think if we are sincerely, if we want to progress, there is no alternative, there is no alternative, there is no alternative. Focused chanting is the essence of all the, whatever we are doing. We are doing this Bhakti Vaibhav course, somebody's managing the temples. But if there is no focused chanting, everything else is of no use, actually. If you are not doing anything else, you're not studying Shastras, but you're doing sincere chanting, you have understood the message properly. But if you are doing everything else but the chanting, we miss the message. We miss the message of Shastra. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. If we cannot focus in chanting 2 hours of our life, I just can't give it to anybody else. And if my mind is struggling, I'll bring my mind back to Krishna. Wherever it goes, I'll bring back to Krishna. In that 2 hours is my dedicated time. I'm not going to compromise on that. If we decide that, I think nobody can stop us. Nothing can stop us. So, but it's the determination. We might have so many excuses, work, family, so many responsibilities. But I think for me, nothing else is as important as my chanting hours. And that is the crux of my sense. If I am doing everything else but chanting, then I'm not doing anything actually.
The struggle should be to keep that standard or that
2 hours of time I am not going to give anybody else. I'm not going to walk, I'm not going to talk anything. I'm just going to sit there and do japa, nothing else. I'm not going to look after. Some people are doing treadmill and chanting because they think that my physical body will improve if I'm doing that. They are walking on the treadmill. It's good, but mind is not there with Krishna. We have to train our mind to be with Krishna, because when the time will come, that mind only will help us to reach to Krishna. And that mind is through Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is nothing else. The essence of everything is chanting sincerely, coming back to the same level. So I think we have to, like, whatever the things, we might have other responsibilities, but that's okay. I'm going to decide that, okay, this 2 hours, I'm not going to give up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's all decide.
Wonderful.
We all should decide, and maybe, like, if you want, you can we can make a group of devotees and come together on a, say, a particular time. We are all in Eastern time zone. We come together at a particular time, and we all sit together, and we are all going to have a videos on. So everybody will monitor each other, making sure nobody gets up from that video, and we all sit together and chant together. We all lift each other, because if we do that, then everybody will grow. Chanting is the main thing. Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let's make a japa group here.
Singapore, we have one too. Early morning, 4:30 we start. 4 o'clock we start. And we're doing it. I mean, I've been not so regular, but we have one and on Zoom. So we gather for 1.5 hours.
Sitting
That's been
together,
going
now
on.
sitting, not getting up and from that place. That is very important. Okay, let's go. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for a nice class. I'll just share some of my thoughts. Very nice presentation, Prabhu. Of course, it was a little unconventional where you took a complete chapter to present compared to a topic. So it was like listening to multiple Bhagavatam classes, one after the other. But the common thread was right from, birth to the end of life, as to what are the various stages we go through, the various problems we get associated with. That way, that was a common thread across in the presentation. Thanks very much for this class. Some of the points I would like to just share regarding each of the areas. In terms of the presentation skills itself, needless to say, you are a wonderful preacher, wonderful presenter. Right at the beginning, you said the context well, and requesting all the devotees to put on the camera to make it more dialogue-oriented discussion. The way you used your hands and the way you expressed yourself right through the presentation, it was really wonderful. And in terms of the presentation skills, I think you have excellent skills, I must say. As Mataji also said, you have a very calm way of presenting, very deep-rooted, at the same time maintaining a connect with the listeners, informal speech, with touching on very, very sensitive topics also with very nice examples, so that way you're able to connect with the audience continuously. And you didn't, even though not much was, many people were responding, but still you continued your attempt to connect with all the people right through the presentation, asking them to read, asking them to share examples, personal experiences. All these things really kept the presentation lively right through. In terms of the understanding, as this was, it was talking about multiple areas, but still every sloka you did complete justice. You took about 17, 18 slokas out of the 34 odd slokas in this particular chapter. But the way you stressed on each one of them, coming up with your personal examples, what exactly is Srila Prabhupada's message in that? If there was a specific item relating to his mood or mission, you called it out. So be it the point about attachment, the importance of time, how it is so precious for us, how it is, of course, the overall stress on the chanting, how we should be taking that 2 hours time and chanting our bit else, something which you just explained also. I think that each of the points you discussed and took up, you did complete justice to all those aspects. In terms of the examples, you gave wonderful examples right through various analogies from Canada, local, your day-to-day life also, from the Shastras, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's example, Indra as the hawk, So all these examples were just perfect and to the point, I must say. In terms of your personal application, though you did not call it out specifically that this is my personal application, but it was an undercurrent which was there right through, and your own personal experience about your taking instruction from Guru Maharaj and your own experience with chanting, how you feel very, very fortunate to have got this birth with Sadhu, Shastra, Sangha, and the Guru also after billions of lifetimes. All these things spoke about your personal application and how exactly you're living through it day in and day out. In terms of your preaching application, I thought that was again something each of the slokas you try to reiterate on that, and your request to everybody to take this life seriously and do chanting sincerely. I think it was ample evidence of the preaching aspect of it. In terms of the slokas, of course, you recited the slokas the way they came sequentially. You did mention a couple of slokas also, but maybe going forward you can try to relate a little bit from some of the other shastras also. Maybe that's just a suggestion going forward. In terms of mood and mission, you reiterated on Prabhupada's mood mission, right, to how he reiterated need to detach ourselves from everything. Towards the end, you also reiterated as to how we should, as we get old on our own, we should detach ourselves from everything before we become like a doormat outside the door. I think all these points were wonderfully covered. Overall, I would say that what came through right through is your sense of conviction about what you spoke, and you are personally convinced about this topic, and that's exactly what's apparent in everything that you spoke about. And you had the right backing of the Shastras, the various examples given by Srila Prabhupada also, and you covered it with examples from your personal day-to-day life also. Overall, I thought it was a wonderful presentation, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And I would specifically, again, like to call out the way you answered the couple of questions which came up with that, forceful conviction that this is the only way to do it, there is no other way. I think that again brought out your, your quality of wonderful preacher. Thank you very much again, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I would like to take the opportunity to thank both the speakers for today, Prem Gauri Mataji and Prem Kishore Prabhu, for their wonderful presentation today. So we will have His Grace Govardhan Prabhu presenting tomorrow. So I would request all of you to please join on time for that presentation also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.